Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I made a video yesterday and I said that NATO, Russia war really started. Trump cancels Putin summit, US, EU sanction Russia and Ukraine to get 100 jets from Sweden. The war entered a new phase, an escalation since Donald Trump cancelled on his own the meeting with Putin. He didn't ask Putin anything because he orders Putin, as he, the representative of the United States of America, is allowed to order by law to everybody on this planet. You know, I'm joking, right? So today we have actually a declaration of war, and it's going to be brought up by Medvedev, the former president of Russia. And Medvedev says, Trump, now this is your war. So you remember Donald Trump said many times that this is Biden war, I'm going to stop. This is Biden war, I'm going to stop. Well, Medvedev said, well, we, the Russian people, say from now on it is your war. Why? Because you escalated. So this is the first topic of this video. Then in the video yesterday, I stated that China will join Russia in the war against the Anglo-Saxon West, not the French. French are baboons. No, it's just over there. Just moi aussi, me too. What? Sucking a anyway. So China joins Russia, as I said. I'm waiting for North Korea to join Russia as well, and there you have it, a world war. We'll see. That's the second topic. The third topic: NATO will shoot down Russian planes that threaten alliance airspace. NATO's secretary, you know what a secretary is. A secretary picks up phones, schedules appointment for someone else who's the boss. So when you hear the NATO secretary Rutte, okay, Mark Rutte, the Dutch guy, then you understand he's just a secretary. He has no decision making. He's just a secretary of an organization owned by someone else. Got that? He's not, as Lavrov said, you're not a president of a nuclear power or anything. You're just a secretary. You're just a guy, a middleman. All right. So they will shoot Russian planes. Remember, the key word is that threaten. Well, I feel threatened by this camera right now. Bang. No. It's very subjective. The feeling of when I feel threatened is based on my pussy hurts. Okay, I'm threatened by everything, including my shadow. Oh, meow meow, are you here? What's going on? You scared me. All right. Then we got Trump saying the same garbage as the United States of America said for so long, which is no. We're not gonna send Tomahawk missiles, but you know why? Because we can't train the Ukrainians. You train them on F-16s, you train them on tanks, you train them on Patriot, you train them on HIMARS. Now you can train them on Tomahawks. This is the mountain slope model. They're talking about, no, you know why? We can't train them in 6 months. I think it took 6 months to train these guys on Patriot systems and F-16s, supposedly. So you see, they already gave us. Now, the ball was passed by Trump to the media, who's going to actually and clearly point out to the idiot that, no, Mr. President, what 6 months? Your war would last more than 6 months. He thinks it's not going to. That's why he said 6 months. So is the war going to end in less than 6 months, Mr. President? It seems like. But no, the point is, I will send them and they will operate it, because otherwise it should be operated by us, but we're not going to operate them. This is the baboonish subject, but I picked it because it's very interesting to see how these guys are just telling shit that we should already know. Some of us know it, but the baboons are still gulping it full. And we have Marco Rubio, who said, after we sanction Russia, after we cancel the meeting with Putin, we still want to meet you. What if the Russian says, you know, guys, we don't want to talk to you anymore. When you're going to stop the war, I don't want to hear from you. Zero, niet. Koniec film. I want to hear the Russians say that. I want to hear them. Because it seems like the Russians are waiting in an, how do you call it, anti-camera, in a, I don't know, little hallway somewhere outside, waiting for the principal to get you inside the principal's office to blah, 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 and you stay over there like Russia. Is the principal gonna talk to me? Or like a guy or a girl waiting for the guy to give her some attention or give him some attention. Is he gonna... And he's an asshole all the time. Oh, look at her, she's got a big butt. Oh, she's got short legs. Oh, she has no this. Okay, all these kind of things. And the Russians are waiting. We're always gonna talk to you. We're always gonna be available. No, don't say that. We don't want to talk to you. I don't want to hear anything from you. No, nothing. You stop the war. When you stop the war, then we might talk to you. These guys are smacking the Russians all the time, and the Russians are, this is going to be an escalation. Yeah, you're going to send Patriot systems. It's going to be an escalation. These guys are shooting at you with what they have. And there's going to be an escalation. They destroy your oil terminals and your refineries. We're going to destroy the Ukrainians. You don't have to destroy the Ukrainians because not the Ukrainians hitting you. It's someone else hitting you. Why don't you go a little bit over? I'm just asking the question. So remember, the Russians do not play as they should. They're like waiting for the Americans to give them some attention. Is there any inferiority complex there, motherfuckers? Is there any? I don't know. You can say, well, that's smart. Smart in what way? In what way? Don't you think that the Russians don't see this? Anyway, so these are the topics where Rubio is ready to talk to the Russians. But in the meantime, we're going to impose sanctions on you. And the Russians impose sanctions on what? On whom? On nothing? And the last topic, indeed, a guy called General Zaluzhnyi warned Russia's war could soon spread beyond Ukraine. No shit, Captain Obvious. And why? And that gets me to the first topic. Here is Mr. Medvedev. 23rd of October 2025. Ukraine conflict now belongs to Trump. And I think 100% belongs to Trump after all this. It is you, rather, it is you. Through his latest policy reversals, that means lying and changing your mind. Have you heard of Russians changing their mind? The US is not serious. I made a video that I will publish it after this one, probably later today, and where I said the United States of America lost, if it still had, any credibility, any global credibility. It behaves like a thug, and wants to be recognized as a virtuous country or a virtuous entity. This is delusional. The world is created by these guys in charge of us, is a world created based on force, threats, violence, and so on. And in the meantime, on virtue too. But only we are the virtuous. Go and watch that video. So, this is what this guy says. The US president has made the war his own. US president has made the war his own, Medvedev said. Alright, well, the Ukraine conflict has effectively become US President Donald Trump's war now that he has positioned himself as an adversary of Moscow. Alright. Writing on social media on Thursday, Medvedev suggested that Trump's next move would likely involve approving the delivery of Tomahawk cruise missiles to Kyiv, claiming the US president is, and I'm quoting now, firmly on the warpath against Russia and completely aligned with Mad Europe in this regard. No, it's aligned because there's a third entity, Medvedev, and you know it, which is not the European Union and the European Union, the Americans, and the Ukrainians are all a trio, a triad. And they all work for the same guys. It's just a level of, not command, it's not even command. It's three kinds of slaves. One, the bad guy over there, how should I put it, the plantation, the guy who cuts the sugar cane. Okay, this is most of them. Then you get Great Britain, which is the house servant, and then you got another servant who gets fucked every night by the master. Now that's United States of America, okay? Kind of. She has the most power because of the master impregnates her, let's put it this way. She has all the power over all these baboons, the house servant, Great Britain, and the baboons, sugar cane cutters over there, all right? But it's still a slave. She is still a slave. And the masters are the guys behind all these imbeciles. The European Union, the Ukrainians, the Brits, the Americans, they're just tools. Tools, okay? All right. So this is what this guy says right there, aligned with Med Europe. Well, he argued that Trump had likely been pressured by both domestic and international hawks. Whose people? No, into taking a hardline stance. Not hawks. Tell us who are the hawks. Don't give me names. Because it's not Bolton or whomever, Lindsey Graham. These are just as baboons, less baboons than Trump and whomever supposedly has some power, rather than acting on the ideological conviction as was the case with his predecessor, Joe Biden. But now, and I'm quoting, it's his conflict, Medvedev concluded, adding that Russia must focus on achieving its objectives militarily rather than through negotiations. This is the guy right there. Right there. Achieving its objectives military, power, strength, fuck them up, rather than through negotiations. Why? Because right here, Rubio, US still wants to meet with Russia despite imposing sanctions. I don't want to meet with you. Fuck off. How about you treat us equally, stop all sanctions, stop all deliveries to the Ukraine, and then I might talk to you. This is how you talk to these guys. They're going to do whatever they want anywhere. Anyway, it doesn't matter how lower you bend. If you took your pants off and your undies off 3 minutes ago or 1 minute ago, if you take it in your butt as well, or I want to make me an ass, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. These guys are still going to do it. The goal is to do whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want to you. You want to do that? Then stop the war. Give them everything. Putin, and that's it. My friends, they need to change the attitude. And unfortunately for some and fortunately for others, we have this guy right here. He doesn't have much power though, but hey, he's younger than Putin, so that's good. Why? He might be the next one. Next, on the 23rd of October, former Russian president calls US sanctions an act of war against Russia. So when someone acts upon you or against you, and you consider that an act of war, what do? You go to war, right? Directly with the entity. Do you need to go, as they say, proportionately? No, you don't have to. If you smack me over my beak like this, bong, blah, 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 okay? I don't have to smack you back blah, blah, over your snot. I will fuck you up. I will knock the hell out of you, if I can. Correct? Correct. I can do what the hell ever I want. It's a war. It's a war, not a special military operation. Remember, the Russians consider what's going on in Ukraine, what's up, meow meow, a special military operation, not a war. Now he said this is an act of war against Russia. So what are you gonna do, homie? Huh? Let's see what Medvedev says. Right there. Dmitry Medvedev, deputy chairman of the Security Council, has said that US President Donald Trump has, and I'm quoting, chosen the path of war with Russia after canceled the planned Budapest meeting with Putin and imposed sanctions on Russia's largest oil companies. And I'm quoting, Trump has canceled the Budapest summit. Now, or new, US sanctions have been imposed against our country. What's next? Will there be new weapons beyond the notorious Tomahawks? For anyone who still has illusions, here you go. The United States is our adversary, and its talkative peacemaker has now fully stepped onto the path of war with Russia. Medvedev added that Russia's war against Ukraine, and I'm quoting, is now his, Trump's, conflict. They will, and I'm quoting again, they will, of course, say he had no choice, that he was under pressure from Congress, and so on. But this changes nothing. The decisions taken are an act of war against Russia. Trump has now fully aligned himself with Mad Europe. The Putin ally also claimed that there was a clear upside, suggesting that Russia could now strike Ukraine with all kinds of weapons without bothering with unnecessary talks. I mean, imagine if we are equal and you keep telling me, I'm going to meet you, I've changed my mind, I'm going to do this to you, I'm changed my mind, I'm not going to do this to you, but I'm going to do this to you because I changed my mind, that person is not trustworthy for any talks. Any. Any. Even if you sign something, that country would come and say after 2 days, I don't like it, I want that to change. Like, for instance, Trump did with Iran deal that Obama, represented the United States of America, remember, signed with Iran and Europeans and so on. Trump came over and said, I don't respect that, I don't like it, zoop, I'm out. He represents the United States of America, so what kind of goddamn deal that is? If anyone can come and say, well, I changed my mind, why should I sign with you anything? I mean, when you sign something and you're bound by that, you should stick with it. You change your mind, you lost credibility right there. So good. At least we have someone with the right approach, I would say. Why? I think it coincides with mine to a certain extent. And since I agree with mine, I agree with his. All right, let's move on and see how other countries will get involved in this. They are already involved, but they are involved mildly. This is an escalation. There you go. Ukraine form, China. China said Putin pressure on Putin will not help end war in Ukraine. These are so diplomatic that they really seem to be, I don't want to use the word cowards, but too timid. But out of all these guys, please listen to how, I'm not talking about Medvedev, I'm talking about the president of the United States of America, the president of Russia, the president, if you want, of China or India, and the imbeciles in Europe. How they talk, their rhetoric. And you're going to realize the bad guys have more diplomacy and flair and self-control than the guys in the West who threaten, blackmail, they talk to you, he's an imbecile, the other guys are so, I'm sorry to say it, how do you call it, quality. They are quality. They are like you have a note with nobility compared with those peasants. I'm sorry, I'm part of the peasantry right here, and I'm represented by those peasants over there. They speak like thugs. They're not only you can be a smooth, suave, rico, suave thug, but they're not. They are rudimentary. They are primitive thugs. Have you seen, for instance, the communists? The communists were primitive thugs. The West used to be noble thug, if I may say. You know what I mean? Like, hey, honey, I would like to show you a little bit of love. You don't like. Give me my wine, please. Keep your up. Okay, yes. I always liked your dangling earrings. That's before a rape. You know what I mean? The communists were like, oh, here she is. Let's get it on. It's too early. So this was the difference between the thug, primitive thug, and let's say, if I may, okay, noble thug. It was the same outcome, but the talk was nicer. Now, maybe she would be inclined to say, thank you, man. Regardless, I think 40% of they have an orgasm during a rape. Studies say. So that tells you something. I mean, we know by studies their fantasies with werewolves, people in uniform, doctors, and these are their fantasies. Yeah, our women, the good part of our, Go read it. You don't believe me? It's a video and watch. I made a video with Jordan Peterson. He says the women's fantasies were werewolf men. Okay, then doctors and people in office in uniform. They like that, and it was something else, but I can't remember which one. So doctors, police officers, they get very much turned on. And by the thugs, people with tattoos, the bad guys, for a good fuck. Anyway, so we're done with the family counseling. But this is real. So these guys became I'm going to talk about the Chinese. Sorry for my Chinese friends who I know China does no wrong. Okay, it's all good. But the problem is when China is going to get big muscles, they're going to pay everybody back for how they were in the 20th century by some European countries and everybody else, including Japan. They will put them up. But they are the noble thugs now. And the noble thugs became the primitive thugs, which is the United States of America, the Europeans. I don't like that. I mean, there will be no thugs, but sometimes you have to smack someone, so you got to get dirty. All right, here it is. China's foreign ministry stated the pressure on Russian leader Vladimir Putin will not bring the end to the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. Dialogue and negotiations are only possible way to resolve the Ukrainian crisis, as China officially calls Russia's war against Ukraine. Okay, good for you, my friends. Good, do it. NATO will shoot down Russian aircraft that threatens alliance airspace, the NATO secretary said. So let's say we are you and I don't know your intentions. Let's say the first time I meet you, but I'm a scaredy cat. I'm scared. I'm a weak person. I just painted I'm a person who has a very low self-esteem and is ashamed of himself. Therefore, I paint my hair, I identify with something else, thinking that I can hide behind this self-identification when actually it's still me. But hey, I want you to call me from now Gigi, all right? And I'm not a he, I'm a C, okay? Because right now I'm a different person by doing that. So delusional, all right? So let's say I'm walking down the street and you come and I'm and you show up and I get scared and my pussy hurts. I'm threatened by you and you're a mile away. I see you, he's fucking coming. Okay? And you anyways, when I see you coming, I already get threatened. Is that a normal feeling in the circumstance? Does it matter that I feel threatened when everybody can see, Gigi, take it easy? You think so? Yeah. Is that legitimate fear? When you're a mile away showing up? But if I, NATO says, consider you a threat a mile away, he's coming, Putin is coming, then I can do something to you, I can shoot at you. This is just a step forward to shooting Russian assets, air assets, over Ukraine. That's what it is. Now they say I'm threatened by aircraft in our airspace. Tomorrow is going to be, I got scared by your missiles in Ukraine coming in our direction. Very, very dangerous. Next one. Trump. Trump thinks that, he knows that the feeble-minded strata segment of the population will buy this because they have an attention span shorter than a deer, right, or a buck, which is 3 minutes. A buck or a deer sees you, about 3 minutes maximum is going to be like, something is wrong out there. And after 3 minutes, okay, and you bam. So here, if you want, or you go and pet him. So after. So they know these guys have a low, short attention span. I said because they have a harsh life. Some of them simply don't give a fuck. Therefore, these guys can tell them whatever they want because they seem to be like they were born just yesterday. So this is what Trump says, hoping that we the people, buy that. U.S. won't fire Tomahawks for Ukraine. Kyiv's forces would not be able to operate long-range missiles without Washington's direct involvement. He said, that's correct. Putin said that first. But this is the catch. The U.S. will not help Ukraine fire long-range Tomahawk missiles at Russian forces, President Donald Trump has said, adding that training, this is why, adding that training Kyiv's troops to operate the weapons would take many months. So this is the only obstacle. And how many months? 6. Right here. The problem with the Tomahawk, one problem, not two, with the Tomahawk is, not are, that it's take a minimum of 6 months, usually a year, to learn how to use them. This is the only problem. They're highly complex. So the only way a Tomahawk is going to be shot is if we shoot it. And we're not going to do that. Got it? And an escalation. It's going to be an escalation. Now I want to tell you this. The Putin said Tomahawks without a direct participation of American personnel, all right, it's impossible. It can be impossible to use them. So my question is, do you remember? So this is the only obstacle. That could be bypassed, surpassed, whatever you want to call it. Remember, whenever, this is the mountain slope model. Remember, every time the Americans, the guys you voted for, we voted for, in the democracy, they said, we're not going to send howitzers to Ukraine. We're not going to send, I don't know, HIMARS to Ukraine. We're not going to send Patriots to Ukraine. We're not going to send Abrams tanks to Ukraine. We're not going to send F-16s to Ukraine. We're not going to send Patriots to Ukraine. They sent everything right there. Everything. And they did it in the same way. A baboon, a general, said, a retired general, I think sending Tomahawk missiles will be good. And why? He has no legitimacy, no authority, you can't attack. It's just an opinion of a citizen. That's how they start. Then the media is like, waiting. Oh, yeah, man. And they have a panel. They discuss it in a panel. Should we? No, they have all kind of experts and anal lists. No, man. No. Maybe. The White House. What the White House? White House is waiting. Good. The ball is in my court. There's no discussion here. The Americans will never send whatever the weapon might be, the lie. In this case, Tomahawk weapons, missiles, or whatever. Okay, goes back to the media, and media brings other experts, and now they brings military, and they say, well, I think it would be good, why? For a tactical point of view, and to destroy Russia's infrastructure, the war machine. They bring arguments, and then, goes to the White House, and White House escalates and says, the president has not made a decision. What do you mean? I thought he was verboten. No? But, he's still thinking about it. And then he comes and says, well, maybe that could help president. And then after a few days, he says, yes, we're going to send it. Where from 0 to 100%, that has been decided before the conversation even started about it. Got it? The same here. Now we got with 6 months. That's the only reason why these guys will not do it. Not because the Russians said, if that's shot at us, we're going to strike you. That's a war. They don't care about it. Why? Because we tell you, we train the Ukrainians, man. It's not us. Trust me, man. I never change my mind. I'm a trustworthy entity. Now, who buys this shit? So this guy says, it will take a year. You trained all these guys. Or do you think we're going to end the war? What's up, man? Where are you? Come up. You think you're gonna be jumping here? Come on. Pisos? Hey, man. Hi. Do you think it's gonna be, instead of saying we're not gonna do that, we're gonna talk to the Russians? No, it's gonna be the Ukrainians using them, and they will ninja, like a ninja. All right. So the same thing here. Trump shuts down talk of Tomahawks for Kyiv. No, he doesn't. He just gave you the only reason why. And the media will say, yeah, President Trump, remember that the same thing was with F-16s, 6 months, with Patriot systems, 6 months, with HIMARS air defense systems, 6 months. So it could be done. And Trump said, I think we can do that. And it's going to go to, yes, we're going to train them, without even thinking of the consequences. They think this is Russia's mistake. Russia, you can't control what they do. You can control what you do. And through what you do, you can change their behavior. All right? So in this case, it was Russia's mistakes at the beginning of this, however you want to call it in Ukraine, when they said, if you send juveniles, it's going to be an escalation. They sent it. If you send the howitzers, it's going to be an escalation. They send it. If you're going to send armored vehicles, it's going to be an escalation. If you send tanks, everything was an escalation. Instead of saying, you send one fucking bullet, and I'm going to strike Europe and London. How about that one? And if that comes from America, I'm going to strike that. How? With everything we got. Fuck off. Trust me. Okay, I'm waiting. When you do that, boom! You send one. It's a warning shot. Oh, you think it's going to be escalating? I don't think it's going to be escalating. If you do a warning shot, this guy's going to be all shedding and the pussy hurts and going to say, my God, everything I worked for now is going to be destroyed because of those baboons in Ukraine? Niet. That's what they're going to say. But no, now they're going to go to Tomahawks and you get the same shit. That should have been stopped at the beginning, which was about April 2022. We are in way over time right now. Oh, we are expired. Next one. Rubio is ready to meet. The Russians must say, we don't meet with you. 0. We're not going to talk to you. This is a war. You do something, we're going to strike. No, guess what? How are we going to strike? It's up to you to guess. We don't give a shit. Rubio says U.S. still open to talks with Russia despite Trump's new oil sanctions and cancellation and sending weapons and imposing other sanctions and threatening other countries like India, China, and so on. And. No, my friends, no. There's nothing to talk. Done. End of the line. That's what I would do. But hey, since I'm a baboon right here and those guys know what they're doing, they will have to reach this point. They will reach this point. My problem is speed up the process. Like, for instance, in an argument. Sometimes when you have a girlfriend or a spouse or whatever you got, a loved ones, or someone who really wants, you say something, hey, how is going on? And she answers in a certain way. You say, what's going on? And you find out from the very beginning that you're going to have a fight. Verbal fight, I'm talking about. You're going to have an argument. Speed the process. Go straight to the fucking subject. You waste time. If you spend 30 more minutes in, oh my God, go straight to what the fuck happened. Tell me where I live. That's it. The same here. Cut the. You wanna fight me? Let's fight. I don't want to waste time. I'm a busy person. The same with the Russians. They wasted so much time and so many people died. Instead of saying, and as I said, in April 2022, one more bullet, we're going to strike London and Berlin and whatever. What? Yeah, we're crazy as you say we are. What would have happened? They're going to reach that point pretty soon. And that's after what? 4 years of war? That's imbecilic. In my opinion, efficiency. And let's go and see what Mr. Zaluzhnyi has to say. Zaluzhnyi warns, according to New Voice of Ukraine, Russia's war could soon spread beyond Ukraine. What does it mean, Zaluzhnyi? Well, I'm telling you it means. It means not the Russians want to conquer Europe. They will have to do what I said they should have done probably in April 2022. They all know it. The Americans know it. They all know it. There are some people who are, like for instance, Kaja Kallas, she doesn't know shit, or Annalena Baerbock, they didn't know it. They are not, their horizon is right here. Beyond this, they can't think, they can't calculate, they can't see over or around it. That's the way they are. But hey, they are important people. Kaja Kallas is the foreign minister, let's put it this way, the top diplomat of more than 450 million people in Europe. From a country of Estonia with 1.3 million people, she was Roman catapult over there to the freaking position of being in charge of the foreign policy of this entity. Can you believe that? Can you tell me what achievements she had? Can you tell me one? To be catapulted from 1.3 million people, a country that has zero fucking achievements on the global stage. Zero. Don't give me a Nobel Prize, fucker. I don't care about that. Give me what they are. A country more unimportant. Boof, the foreign minister of 450 million or more. You tell me. And if that would be something, tell me, how did she get that position? Doggy style position, or I don't know, not even that. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that too much. So indeed, it's going to be probably a Russian reaction, and we're going to get to it being struck by the Russians. The media jackals, the operatives, will tell the imbeciles, the feeble-minded, that we are under attack. You should cancel all the plans for your future and your children's future or your grandchildren's future, because the Russians are coming unprovoked. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We're getting there, but it's only their fault. I mean, this is in the video that I already made. It's ready to be published. As I said, I explained, let me see the title of it, because I already have it done, but I don't want to publish it yet because I'm waiting for some kind of not momentum, but I want to link them in a certain way. I said US's dream world. Let me show you the video. It's not published yet, just so you know, but I'm going to publish it a little bit later. US's dream world, tyrannical world ruled by force, intimidation, threats, and self-proclaimed virtue. US world order equals ruled by force, all illusions shattered, US thuggish behavior for all world to see. So wait for this video if you want, and if you don't, I'm gonna... Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.